Yes, be ready. 5 seconds. Start. Leave granted. Stop. These appeals arise from orders of a division bench of the High Court of Delhi dated 4 March 2022 and 8 March 2022. Stop. The petitions before the High Court under Article 226 of the Constitution have raised issues pertaining to the validity of the upper age limit of 32 years for appearing for the Delhi Judicial Service examination and the minimum age requirement of 35 years for appearing for the Delhi Higher Judicial Service examination. Stop. The High Court of Delhi issued notification for conducting the examination for DJS and DHJS on 23 February 2022. Stop. For the DJS, the last date for submission of forms is 20 March 2022 and the examination is scheduled to take place on 27 March 2022. Stop. For DHJS, the last date for submission of forms was 12 March 2022 while the date of examination is 20 March 2022. Stop. The bone of contention pertains to Rule 14 (c) of the Delhi Judicial Service Rules 1970. Stop. Unamended Rule 14 (c) stipulated that a candidate shall be eligible to appear at the examination if he is not more than 32 years of age on the first day of the January following the date of commencement of the examination. Stop. The above rule was amended on 11 February 2022 so as to stipulate that a candidate shall be eligible to appear at the examination if he is not more than 32 years of the age on the first day of January of the year in which the applications for appointment are invited. Stop. The High Court of Delhi conducted the last examination for recruitment to the DJS in 2019. Stop. It is common ground that no examination was held in 2020 for institutional reasons and in 2021 due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Stop. The grievance of the petitioners before the High Court is that candidates who would have qualified in terms of the upper age limit of 32 years for DJS as stipulated in Rule 14 (c) would now cease to be eligible by virtue of the fact that the examination is being held in March 2022. Stop. In terms of amended Rule 14 (c), they would have crossed the age of 32 years on the first day of January of the year in which the applications for appointment are invited. Stop. In other words, it has been urged that if the High Court had conducted the examination on schedule in 2020 and 2021, such candidates would have qualified for the examination since they were within the age limit of 32 years for the relevant year. Stop. When the petition was moved before the High Court, the division bench by its interim order dated 8 March 2022 directed that the date for receiving applications shall be rescheduled to a date after the next date of hearing and the date of holding the examination shall also be postponed. Stop. The proceedings were directed to be listed on 7 April 2022 before the same bench which was seized of an earlier writ petition civil number 3636 of 2022 after obtaining the orders of the Chief Justice. Stop. effectively. Therefore, by the interim order of the High Court, the examination for DJS, which was scheduled to take place on 27 March 2022, would stand postponed. Stop stanza. Aggrieved by the interim order of the High Court, the jurisdiction of this court under Article 136 of the Constitution has been invoked by the High Court of Delhi on the administrative side. Stop stanza. The earlier petition before the High Court related to the recruitment process for DHJS, which resulted in an interim order of the division bench dated 4 March 2022. Stop. The backdrop of the grievance before the High Court was that in 2019 the High Court had amended the DHJS rules by a notification dated 26 December 2019. Stop. Rule 9 within bracket 3 specifies the qualification for direct recruits. Stop. The requirement of a minimum age of 35 years was deleted by the notification of the High Court dated 26 December 2019. Stop stanza. Subsequently, by a notification dated 8 February 2022, Rule 9 within bracket 3 was amended so as to stipulate the requirement that the candidate must have attained the age of 35 years. Stop. Rule 9 within bracket 3 also provides that the candidate should not have attained the age of 45 years on the first day of January of the year in which the applications for appointment are invited. Stop. The submission is that under Article 233 of the Constitution, the only qualification for being appointed as a district judge is continuous practice of 7 years as an advocate or a pleader. Stop. Hence, the submission is that though the Constitution does not prescribe a minimum age limit for appointment as a district judge, Rule 9 within bracket 3 introduces such a requirement, which would be in breach of constitutional requirements. Stop stanza.